Right, I'm wanting to talk to you about all the stuff you've been doing at West of the Moon.
Okay,
And like, where did that all come from? Did you just sit down one day and were like, right, no one's doing this, I'm gonna need to do it?
well, it's coming up in about a year now, probably just over a year, and that I started running these. That I've been running these shows for.
Yeah.
But the first bit of inspiration I got, and I was thinking about this earlier because I was thinking what was the catalyst for me and Liam starting these shows, and I remember I wrote about it a few months back and when I was doing my proposal for the upcoming shows, and me and Liam went to Stirling Tollbooth around September
Yeah.
of that year, and Kenny Bates has got a festival up there called Strange Behaviours, which it's like a multi-stage festival within the venue of Stirling Tollbooth, and he had people like Hector Bizerk, Model Airplanes, I think Vukovi was supposed to be playing it, Pronto Mama,
Yeah.
Vasa, pretty much like anyone was playing this thing, right? And I'd been going to gigs up and down the country for years, and I was like, it wasn't until I'd been at that show at Stirling and thought like how special it was. All these people were all like together in the one place somewhere outside of Glasgow. I was like, why is nothing like this happening in there? And initially I wanted a festival. I wanted to book somewhere like the Air Town Hall for 2 days and just be like, you know what, there's a couple of stages and just everyone who I think's like...
Yeah, like a yearly
cool
thing or something?
Yeah. Well, initially I thought like just pretty much the same idea as the toll booth, and then I realised it was going to cost a lot of money. So I was like, then we got the call from West of the Moon, and Paul there was wanting to start putting gigs on again. So I was like, I'll do it. I know the people. I run all the... We would run all the Echo Valley shows in-house anyway, so we knew how to run a gig, we knew what we needed, we knew what we didn't need, we knew what didn't work. And I was like, well, let's give it a bash. So we booked a couple of shows. I think the first show was Dirty Money Handlers with Edgar and a couple of other bands, I think the Tales as well. So we booked that went well, so we're like, okay, let's book one up. We'd done an Echo Valley show, then we had Mickey Nines, we had like shows like that. It started to go like, okay, wait, so we can actually bring these people to air now because we realise there's a good enough venue, a good enough stage, a good enough sound, like a nice vibe, everything, and it was like, that's when I was like, okay, right, well maybe I can take this further. And the band who sparked me on to do, like when I was at that Strange Behaviours festival, we went to see Pronto Mama, right, and I was sitting watching it, and there would maybe been like 40 people in that room, but every person that was there was just like totally engrossed in it, and I was like, when I start running gigs, I need to get those guys down, right? So in September there, we booked Pronto Mama for the show, and it was like it's definitely the best one we've had so far, because it was ram packed. Everyone there had like a phenomenal night, and there was like loads of like great wee moments were created,
So do you think you had to wait like a certain amount of time before you were actually able to book them to like get a kind of
sort of behind
the venue?
I think I had to try and almost prove myself first that I could do it, and I think Mickey Nines was the first act that I'd actually brought from out of town, and like that again was, you played that show?
I did, and it was mental.
It's so good, wasn't it? And it's like once I was able to bring a band from Glasgow and be like, hey, you've not played in Glasgow for like you've not played in Ayr for like 2 years or whatever, and the last time you played to like 2 people. I could probably get you about 50, you know what I mean? Exactly. But like, we could get something here where you'll get paid, we can cover all the costs, and everyone has a good night, and once I'd done that with Mickey Nines, and then we came from Wolves and so many Animal Calls, and all those people, I was like, well, you know what, let's book it, Pronto Mama, and like it paid off. It was one of those things you had to calculate, I'm gonna make enough money to for this to float, are people going to be interested, is it just me being like, selfish and thinking that's who I want to see. So it was definitely a risk, but once I knew I'd had about 6 or 7 shows behind me, I was like, right, well, that's the next logical step.
Do you think the sort of money aspects and the kind of worrying about who's going to come and stuff like that, do you think that all came from you doing the Echo Valley shows?
I think
you
so.
kind of
Yeah.
learned that.
I think that with the Echo Valley shows, we were always like, right, well, if we can cover the PA, the venue, security, whatever, as long as we can make enough money for it to float, then that's fine. But then when you've got the added pressure of having to pay someone a fee,
Yeah, when you,
that adds up as well. But you know, it's, I think because we'd always done our own shows and they were successful, then it meant that I kind of knew like what I
you were
needed to
doing,
do.
yeah.
Like I needed to put posts up, I need to put flyers, I need to make sure that I talked to everyone I possibly could, and like create something that people actually wanted to go and see. Do you know what I mean?
So has it been like largely like a kind of one man, or like you and Liam kind of
Well-
job, or like how involved is the venue and like the sort of acts and the dates and stuff like that?
Well, the venue's pretty sound with it. They'll just let me do it all. And, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's mostly me and Liam. We do get other people in to help. The sound engineer Lee, we've had pretty much since day one. And like, I can just leave him now with the sound and be like, right, I know that he's going to get exactly what the band wants. And like people like Pronto and Mickey Nines, and what I've always said, we've had a great onstage sound. People out at the shows are saying, you know, it's great, so I can leave him to do that. And Joe's helping him as well now.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to actually booking the bands, it's pretty much me going through to Liam and being like, guess who's going on tour?
Yeah.
And guess who we can book for this one? And guess, and it's at the moment it's not as organised as I'd like it to be. I'd like to be able to book up 6, 7, 8 months in advance, but unfortunately it's not that stage yet, and I'm having to like book things month to month and go, if that one floats, then I could maybe book them, and alright, okay, maybe that one didn't go as well as I expected, but these guys are coming next month.
Yeah.
And, you know.
So now that you've got like a good team,
Mhm.
and the venue's obviously like a big part of why people actually want to come down,
Yeah.
because it's just totally
The venue are really good as well with like they promote it on all the social medias, whatever, and they pretty much give me whatever date I want for the shows. So if I say, can I have it on this day, they're like, yeah, that's cool. And they also like on the shows that I put on Wednesdays, it's like £1 for a vodka mixer, £1, one
Very important.
£1.50 for like vodka mixer, £1.50 for a Stella, £1.50 for a Jaeger bomb, like £1 for a shot of sewer, stuff like that. And also the good thing, because it's next door to Club de Mar, we can get people free entry into there, and it's like, hey, your ticket's costing £5, but you're also getting free entry to Club de Mar, and you're also getting like 2 or 3 drinks and change from a tenner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
Sorry, what was your point again?
no, I was going to say about how like the venue itself obviously does bring quite a lot of people down, because it just looks so mad inside. But like now that you've
It's
got
like
the good
Flintstones,
team,
you know, like
I know
it's like
exactly.
the
It's like
90s
it kind of looks
in a
like it's
venue.
underwater, but not really at the same time.
It's like, do you know that Crystal Maze part where they're in the submarine? It always reminds me of halfway between that, the Flintstones, and some kind of weird 90s Halloween party.
Exactly.
That's what I love about it, you know,
Yeah.
because it like the stage itself is a perfect size for a venue. It's all carpeted so things don't slip, you know. It's got railings, it's got enough space for people to dance, come in, whatever, and it works great as a venue. But at the same time, there's something about it where you're like, you know, it's not necessarily a venue, but that's what's great about it. You know, it's not been set up like Tuts, so it's not been set up like anywhere else where there's everything so solid and dark, and you know, it's cool like that. It's got its own vibe, and it's somewhat stuck in the 90s almost.
Yeah. Do you think it would have been as successful if you'd chosen like a more kind of stereotypical kind of like dark normal venue in air?
Probably not.
No.
I mean, I think when it comes down to it, it's all about the bands that you book and the vibe on the nights. You know what I mean? If people are, I think the main thing is that all the bands that come are getting paid, they're getting food, they're getting drink, they're getting looked after, and I'm actually promoting the show. You know, I'm not like just booking it and just leaving it. The fact I'm saying, right, well, I'll pay you this, and I'll go and sell all these tickets and make sure the show floats, and I'll go and talk to the radio, I'll go talk to the newspaper and actually promote it. And then the bands are coming going, hey, he's brought quite a lot of people down to their show, and they appreciate that. We've arrived and there's been hot food, there's been whatever, and if you just treat them well, then they're going to be in a good mood, they're going to play well, you know what I mean? The people that come don't feel shortchanged, because it's not like £15 a ticket, whatever, it's a reasonable price to come down. They get good quality acts who are enjoying themselves, you know. So I think if it was ran the same way in a different venue, it might come across the same way, but I'm pretty sure that like the actual vibe of the room helps enormously.
Adds to it quite a lot. So what you were saying about you were looking to eventually have bands booked like 8 months prior to the show and stuff like that. What's next? How are you working towards that?
By trying to book up a couple of months in advance at the moment, you know.
Just kind of making it longer every time.
Well, the plan was that over Christmas I would try and book up until May, and then probably stop for a month, come back in July with a big summer show, month off in August, and then start back like 4 months in September through to uni finished, you know. And the plan was to book through to May, but obviously when you're working with booking agents who are holding off until they get a better deal, or you're working ahead trying to book something and things get in the way, you know what happens. But I think the plan at the moment is try and get, like I'm booking up March's show just now. I'm also booking up April's and May's, so that hopefully by the time March's show is announced, April's booked and more or less ready to announce, and May's more or less booked, you know, and then start already looking at the summer show, so that I'm always looking ahead going, that's the end goal, that's where I want to be, so that's what I need to do to get there, you know.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll be like, I'll hopefully have booked up like so many months in advance so I can start promoting shows and have like a 6 month run at them. Yeah. You know.
You largely take care of Echo Valley. Does that sort of get in the way of like booking the other bands and stuff like that? Or do you think that helps with like communicating with the other bands?
I think it's good because I perform myself, I understand what the acts are looking for, understand where they're coming from. So if a band says to me, look, we can't do this show because we've got a tour in 2 months, right? I'm not going to dig my heels in and go, right, okay, I'll go, right, that makes sense, let's move it to then. Okay, I understand that you've got a van, an engineer, a manager, an agent to all pay, you know, and even just simple stuff that you need to be fed when you travel 6 hours to a show.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like things that where I've been to play shows and people don't get it right. You know, it's like if I'm playing in somewhere, I wouldn't name any places, but like if you're playing somewhere and like you turn up at a venue and you're supposed to be paid and you don't get paid, or if you're supposed to be fed and you don't get fed, or just simple things which make all the difference. It's good being able to empathise with how the artist is feeling, and being able to take things into consideration even when booking, you know. If they've got other things booked, then you don't want that to take away from a show they've already got in Glasgow, or you don't want it to take away from your show as well, you know.
Yeah. So this show that's coming up, Hector Bizerk.
Yep.
Polaroid People.
Yep.
Brothers.
Sweet. Yep.
Give me tickets. How can I get tickets?
I've got ones in my bag. Do you want one?
Yeah, I want two.
Sweet. You can get them at www.musicglue.com/digital-natives.
Okay.
Or you can get them from me. Give us a wee text or something, you know. That's how it normally happens.
Yeah.
Or you can get them through the bands. They're also on the door. There's no difference in price on the door, but I can't always guarantee that people will get in, you know.
Yeah.
Just depends how busy it gets. But it's £7 either from me or on the door, so
that's good.
Yeah.
We'll throw the link on the Twitter and the Facebook and stuff.
This one's going to be a good one as well. This is definitely this is the biggest show I've booked so far. And this is just before Hector go to Geneva, I think like the next day or something.
Yeah.
So this one's going to be great, and it's a great lineup as well.
I'm excited.
We haven't had Polaroid People in before, and they're from Ayr, and when you're getting Hector Bizerk down, it made sense, you know, and Brills are always brilliant, so...
it's going to be huge, man.
Yeah.
I'm well excited.
They're bringing like a break dancer, the visual artist, the whole shebang, man, so this one's going to be good.
They've always got like crazy live shows. Yeah.
I was thinking, I wanted to ramp things up a gear, and I'm like, who can I get, and I seen Hector playing, and I was like, well, that's decided it.
Yeah, exactly.
Who else, you know? I think the fact as well, it's going to be something special, because you'll get they create a piece of art at the background, Carol, the artist, she paints and things, and then at the end of the night there's something new being created. You've got the break dancer, and just the fact they're a great band, and the support's are brilliant as well, so it's going to be cushy.
Well, we'll throw the link for the tickets up on
Thank you very much.
Podpatter, Twitter and Facebook, and anything else we can
appreciate that.
We can do for it, because I do really want as many people to go to this gig as possible because
so do I.
Obviously, but people need to experience this shit, man.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't been to a show before, this is the first one. And if this is going to be your first one, then it's going to be a good one. So make sure and be there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you for having a wee chat to me.
Thank you for having me, man.
We're going to end it with a cuddle.
We're
going to need to end it with a cuddle.
Oh yes. Thanks for having me, man. And I'll see you at the show.
You also.